Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens. This is part 2 of a 2-part recap. If you're like, hey, wait a minute, I didn't hear part 1. Guys, it's because we put out a lot of recaps. Go back and listen to part 1, okay? It's before this one. Enjoy the show. So then Vicky shows up and Gina's like, Vicky just looks like she's going to a business meeting. Okay, when you're getting fashion shamed by Gina, you've really stumbled. Okay? You stumbled hard. So then they're making fun of Vicky and stuff. And then Tamara's like, this show has one of the most fabulous hosts of all time. One of the biggest personalities, sparkles, feathers, dripping with charisma. And so we're going to have that host represented today by... Dun, 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 dun. Hi, I'm Teddy.
The Teddy Mellencamp twist. Everyone's like, huh? Okay, sure.
It's like going to a Coke machine before they put the syrup in it. The fuck are you trying to serve me?
That happened to me.
Cumming? This is nowhere close to Alan Cumming.
That happened to me very recently at a McDonald's on the way to Vegas. I was like, what is going on with this Teddy Mellencamp soda machine right now? I kept on going for the Diet Coke. It was just clear water coming out. I was like, who put Teddy Mellencamp in this?
The fuck is Teddy Mellencamp doing here? Get the hell out of here. So you're publicizing both your podcast and the Traitors. Traitors is over. Their podcast does really well, though, so good for you for that one. But still, get out of here. So for Pure Teddy and Pure Tamara, good for you guys. You know, it's great to see you kicking ass. For Show Teddy and Show Tamara, you guys are fuckers, okay?
Pure Teddy and Show Teddy.
What I call them?
Did you say pure, like for Pure Teddy and Pure Tamara? Is that
no, like real life? Oh, yeah. Peer, like our peers.
No, I thought it was.
So
like,
as our
funny.
peers, good for you guys. You're doing a great job. Love your clips on the TikTok, okay? But for show versions of you, fuck you guys. You know, you're bringing fucking Teddy on here. Are you not a villain enough that you're going to bring Teddy on now?
Well, we're in the late stage Teddy era, whereas when Teddy first showed up on Beverly Hills, she was like doe-eyed, didn't really know what she was getting into. She was, Lisa Vanderpump gathered her up, made her like her little sidekick, and she was just like thrust into this world. She was like, I just wear like shirts from the Gap, and but then she went, and then Kyle got her hands on her, and then Teddy became the Teddy that we know and make fun of. And then, but post Housewives, she's really just sort of leaned into, you know what, fuck it, I'll just be an asshole. And she just is like, whatever, I'm just gonna like go after Vicky at BravoCon. I'm just gonna have an attitude doing the traitors thing on Orange County. I can't tell where I stand on it. I don't know if I'm like, I like when, I don't know if I like when assholes just lean into being an asshole, or am I more like, Teddy, stop it. Jury's out for me.
Well, my jury was out years ago after the Vanderpump thing, and it just never came back. And there's no retrial, unfortunately. Jury. So yeah, the jury's over. When it got to that part where she admitted at the reunion that Vanderpump never asked her to put out that Lucy apple juice information, I was like, this is over for me. There will be no retrial here. You've been caught red-handed. So every time I see Teddy now, I'm just like, hi, I'm Teddy. You liar! I have a housewives memory, girl. You can't.
You're like Mary Lou Henner.
Just forget stuff.
You're like Mary Lou Henner with her photographic memory. As long as I'm talking about Taxi.
Actually, that is the only box of Wheaties that I do remember is her being like, yes, like she's throwing her arms in the air, and I was like, God, look at that little thing getting her own Wheaties box.
Well, that was Mary Lou Retton, but I do love the idea of Mary Lou Henner getting a Wheaties box too. She's like,
Mary Lou Henner from Taxi. Oh no, Mary Lou Henner I know because Taxi. I saw her in Chicago and Las Vegas, and she tried to get everybody to stop eating dairy, and I hated her as a child because I was like, you better stop trying to take away my dairy, you fucking monster. Because my mom was like, I saw Mary Lou Henner on Oprah. Dairy will kill you. No more dairy for you. And I was like, I will never forget this, Mary Lou Henner. I will never forget this.
Me neither. I have a photographic memory. So, she does. So, but what was funny about this whole thing was that as Teddy approaches the cast, we see her feet and we see her legs, and she's wearing riding pants because she loves horses. Don't forget, she's a horse girl. But then we go to commercial. It's like a cliffhanger. Like, who could this be? Even though it was like on the trailers and everything. And I just love that the arrival of Teddy Mellencamp actually like induces a commercial break. I'm like, really? This is our cliffhanger that like Teddy Mellencamp's coming out? Be one thing if it's like Al McPherson, but like Teddy.
I like that it was this big surprise. Then all the housewives were like, "Oh, it's Teddy."
Hi, I'm Teddy.
They were like, "Oh, it's fucking Teddy."
I'm Teddy.
They're like, "She does look good, though," you know, because that's what everybody says on these shows.
She's always looked good.
Everybody says on these shows, it's like, "God, she sucks," but she really looks.
She does look good. I met her that one time, and she was like knockout. Hi, I'm Teddy. So.
Teddy.
Heather
it's like
goes, what?
Go ahead. Nothing. Go ahead.
So Heather goes, it's Teddy. She goes like, she's so serious. Did she ride a horse here? And again, the theme of how do people drive to different places in Orange County rears its head again in this scene.
And Emily's like, "This is my podcast partner because I was on that podcast one time." I think she does the show because Tamara's not allowed to do it or something when they're talking about Orange County. So Tamara's like, I'm choking on myself.
She probably did that.
I figured that Teddy would be the best host, just like Alan Cumming.
Please, it's like you put Alan Cumming. Have you ever seen those movies where terrorists kidnap somebody and then it's like, oh my God, look at that news reporter, so full of life. And then he gets rescued from the terrorists like 6 months later and he's just a shell of a human being. That's what it's like. Alan Cumming has been taken by terrorists and then released 6 months later, but looking really good in a cute skirt.
Hello, Alan Cumming. It's your agent, Mary Lou Henner. We have 2 opportunities for you in pop culture this week. You can either be on HBO talking about a monkey, or you could be doing a low-rent version of Traitors in Orange County. Which do you choose? The monkey. I choose the monkey.
Okay, so then Tamara's like, she won't disappoint, which she knows that's a lie. Okay, so then Teddy's like, welcome, housewives, and Vicky. And everyone's like, LOL, because that was so rude. And Vicky's just like doing that invisible lip opening and closing thing that the women on the show do.
She's a fucking bitch. Just,
what a
hi,
fucking bitch.
I'm your toast. Hi, I'm Teddy Mellencamp. Welcome to the thrilling game of Traitors. Let the game begin. You're going to come up and you're going to fill out a questionnaire, just like on TV. And at the end, you'll pay. Come join me on Questionnaire Traitors.
It's like, guys, did anyone actually watch the show?
Yeah, what's going on with this?
So Gina's like,
I got no idea what Teddy just said, but we're going to fill out and it's winning.
okay, Gina, you don't need to play up that accent more and more every episode. I can't even understand. You sound like you're underwater at this point.
I just feel bad. So Tamara's like,
sounds like, did you ever play that game like with your siblings when you would go underwater in the pool and then see if you could understand what each other was saying? Every time you get down, it would be like, that I was saying, fuck you, mom hates you. She loves me more than you. Could you understand it?
So I'm human. So Tamara, Gina feels bad underwater. She's a very feeling mermaid. So she's been banished. They're like, Ursula, please take away her voice. It's Candace Luann. Candace Luann mermaid. Oh, I'm trying to do my cabaret, and this one's always talking about how she feels bad. Ursula.
Oh, we've done the Countess as a mermaid once. I think it's on TikTok. Okay, so Gina's Tamara's like, the host picks it. Oh, Tamara explains the game. I'm not going to go into the rules of the game because it makes no sense. So Shannon's like, wow, well, Vicky, how do you feel about this? Because the last interaction you had with Teddy, and she's like, I have zero to do with her. She is so disrespectful to me. So disrespectful. And then we see a flashback to BravoCon where they're playing Who's the Beef?
And Teddy is like, so Vicky, where were you on January 6th? I forgot about that.
And Vicky's like, how dare you ask me where I was on January 6th? I'll tell you where I was. I was working a job. That's what I was doing. I was owning an insurance company. That's what I'm doing.
And I was seeing what the insurance damages were in Nancy Pelosi's office. So Vicky's like, She's like, Tamara and Teddy are two peas in a tit. And I don't know what the fuck their stupid podcast is about, but Teddy can kiss my ass. So Heather's like, Heather's in the corner with her questionnaire. She goes, excuse me, is there a large font for old traitors? Okay, thank you so much.
That's Heather's new storyline. She's like, I have fuzzy vision. Am I relatable? Does anyone want to buy my paparazzi pictures now?
That's the only reason why I passed on Taylor Armstrong's script. The font was too small. Now you all understand.
So Tamara's like, who's the best liar? She goes, oh, this is a mean game. We have to answer questions. That was a mean question. I see where this is going. I see where it's going. So they have to answer all these kind of shady questions about each other. And they're split up into teams of 2 to do it. So
and Gina's
says, like, well, the biggest liar is Katie because she's just lying a lot. She's just lying so much. No one's going to say Katie except you.
And she's not lying about anything. She literally, in fact,
yeah, she don't lie.
She has gotten into this mess because she was upfront and honest about everything. You're the one who lied because you're the one who acted like Katie never said this stuff when you brought her around the group. And then once it came out, now you've thrown out Katie
she lies.
to save your own ass with your friend when you should have just been a good friend in the first place.
She lies.
So who's the most judgmental? And Jen's like,
well, Emily's been judging me. I mean, that really hurt. I mean, I just judged her as being judgmental. Does that make me a hypocrite? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. It's a hard game. It's been a hard game for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put me down. And then Jen says, Emily has a lot to say about me always. She called me a squatter. You look like you have no money when we know you don't, or you have money when you know you don't. I owe everyone in town money, sell my Rolex, pay my bills. I mean, I could go on. It's hurtful, but I really like her a lot. I hope she's not mad at me.
I hope we can make up one day just so I can say, it's so good being friends with you. You're such a good person.
So now it's time for everyone to gather around the round table here, and Teddy's going to walk around and tap, like choose the murderer, etc. So she's like, okay, everyone, take a seat. And once we commence, everyone will put earplugs in and a mask in the face. And then I will walk around and I will select the traitor. And if you hear, hi, I'm Teddy, while I tap your shoulder, that means you've been picked.
yeah, and Heather's like, what does the traitor even do? I'm not even sure what the concept is.
You have to kill people.
Well, normally I do that in very slow ways by negging them as they're trying to wash the windows 3 stories up a ladder, or, just sending the laundry back to be redone again and again while I stand in the back going, until someone just gets so old and frail that they die. Is that how we're playing? Because this could be a very long party.
Oh, I always thought the obligation of a traitor was to come in and ruin your Nobu party. Okay.
So the traitor has been picked. We don't see who it is. And Heather's like, wait, did you notice that she tapped the cane 3 times over there, but 2 times everywhere else? Maybe I was the only one who can hear that because I'm basically blind now, so my hearing is very, very good.
So you think that Jen's the traitor? That would make sense because she is the traitor, bitch. Heather's like, well, I had my earplugs in, so I don't know if it was Jen or Gina.
Canned food for Diet Coke cans.
So now Heather asks Katie to chat. And meanwhile, Emily tells us, I'm happy to see that Heather has acknowledged that Katie exists and breathes the air. I feel like it's a step in the right direction. So Emily tells us that she's just happy they're moving forward. So Heather and Katie gather, and Heather's like, oh my God, my fake hair is all frizzing. Ha ha ha. Look at me, funny and relatable. So let's talk about you and your lying ass.
Well, anyways, I am having an event in Sonoma next week. It's a place that people go who enjoy wine. And we're going to go, and it's for an organization called Family Equality. Did you understand me? Do you understand English? Can you hear me? Would you like me to write that down?
So just take your private plane and meet us up there. You have a private plane, don't you, Katie?
She's like, and in the spirit of inclusivity, I would really like to invite you to join us.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You know what, America? I don't really have an interest in being friends with Katie. Let's be clear. There's no, reconciling here. We never were friends. However, I would never go out of my way to make someone feel left out unless they were on my payroll.
Unless they're Taylor Armstrong, who I wouldn't let come back. Or Noella, who I also wouldn't let come back.
Or Reba McEntire, who's dead to me.
So Katie's like, wow, I would really love to join you. Thank you for the invitation. And I do want to apologize to you for whatever it is that you're mad about. She's like,
you know what? I don't want to relitigate anything, so let's just move on. It's unimportant. There, I did that myself because I really can't count on those people. So, let's move on. Okay, you're going to come to my party. You're very lucky. You're welcome.
And one last word. Adjudicate. So Katie says, it's impossible to move on with Heather when she doesn't let me finish a sentence. I'm like, well, that's also because it takes you a long time to get to the end of your sentence. You're very, very slow talker.
I think it's time to give up the golf stuff and just use a normal voice, because it's very difficult to follow somebody who's like, well, let me tell you what I feel. I don't care. You're putting me to sleep. Okay. Feel something more exciting. Sparkles. Follow your dog names. That's my suggestion.
Well, cheers to moving on. Very good. Now let's find out who this traitor bitch is, because I'm sure when it's revealed, whoever is the traitor is probably a very, very good actress and probably should work in the industry more, given how well she's deceiving everyone at this table. Don't we both agree on this?
Katie does a really funny imitation of her where she's like, well, yeah, Heather sucks. Get your fingers out of my face, because she keeps doing Heather. And Heather does do this where she just puts her hand right in front of your face and dangles her fingers and moves.
It's a car wash.
So funny.
Those flaps that go in front of your car.
Yeah. So, okay. So they've decided that they're going to move on, and everybody cheers at the table. And then Katie sits down next to Jen. She goes, I tried to apologize, but she cut me off. Oh, she's like, oh my God, what is she? What is she? My ex-husband? We have so much in common. We're both getting cut off too. Oh my God, we're basically sisters.
So now Heather and Gina go off to have a chat. And Gina's like, so I have a question. Who do you think is the traitor? Well, I think it's either you or Emily, and if it is you or Emily, you have done such an excellent job here that I wouldn't be surprised if P.T. Anderson calls you himself and casts you in his next feature film, which he should do to whoever is the traitor on this show right now.
Well, I'm not the traitor. That's exactly what the traitor would say. That is what the traitor would say, Gina. Yeah, but I'm not the traitor. You're such a traitor. You know what we need to start trading? Your terrible clothes. I think I should come over again. Let's just get rid of all your clothes. I'll give you a lot of pleather, light pink motorcycle jackets. Maybe we could spill some pizza together, like old time's sake.
I was going to make a spilling pizza joke too.
Sorry, it was unfair. I just threw
no, it's great.
Standbys into one.
It's just so funny, that scene of Heather spilling the pizza while she's walking in New York City, being like, "Look at me, I am of the people." So
I am such a normal girl. Look at me, part of the 99%.
I didn't even bring my pizza catcher on this trip because I'm just so relatable.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So then, let's see. So then, outside, who else? They're ordering. I don't know. I'm reading through notes to try and not read
Tamara,
every
Vicky,
little
and
thing.
Shannon are inside eating. Okay, so they have a little scene. They're gonna have a scene. There's a lot of things are going back.
Now it's Jen and Emily. Now it's Jen and Emily.
Sorry,
right?
it was.
Now let's go to that one.
Yeah, Jen and Emily first.
I like that you pick up my confusion ball and then you just run with the confusion ball.
Because I thought we were at the other Trace Amigas scene, and it turns out we'll
just keep going back and forth, being confused. And I love you for that.
It's what a good traitor does.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being such a good friend.
A good traitor causes confusion, and a great traitor should be cast in a new TV show on CBS. Just saying.
Okay, so Emily comes up to Jen and she's like, I just wanted to tell you that since I saw you, I've been doing soul searching, and unfortunately, I took myself back to being a little girl, and my soul was like, I'm hungry, and there was no one to make me breakfast.
I did a lot of soul searching in the shape of getting a spray tan on our front lawn, and something that my pasties told me was that wasn't right of me to yell at you. That wasn't nice.
And she's like, well, I guess I want to ask you because, you know, we keep finding ourselves in the spot where you're saying that you're better than me and I'm lesser than. So am I lesser than you?
Well, I'm not saying you're lesser, only in actual monetary worth, you know.
No.
Probably better because, you know, I'm also a lawyer. So, I mean, kind of, but not in a mean way.
You know, I grew up with nothing, and I would absolutely never judge someone based on what they have. And I think you're just in a space where you are now because you've had so many people take care of you. Unlike me, I would just stare at the ends of bread. Who wants to make sandwiches with bread ends over and over and over? I'd be like, Mom, get some new Wonder Bread, and you know what she'd come back with? Nothing. So yeah, I'm a bit traumatized.
I was a little girl that no one wanted to be friends with because every time I tried to open my own can of tuna, my hands were so little that I couldn't control it and the juice would spray all over my top. So I was a little girl who smelled like tuna juice. Do you know how hard that is? Not one person around me with big hands.
My goodness, was that like tuna?
So much for...
Was that tuna in oil or tuna in water? Because if it was oil, then that's like a real lasting stain.
It was oil. It was oil.
So Emily's like, yeah, like it was really hard and you've been taken care of. She goes, oh yeah, my whole life. I've been taken care of my whole life. It's actually been really nice.
And she's like, yeah, well now you're like, fuck, I have to take care of myself and I don't know how to do that.
She goes, yeah, I mean, it's gross. It really is gross. Thank you for understanding. It is really like what? Pay a bill. Whose bill? Am I right? Thank you so much.
You know,
Thank you for getting it.
I had nothing growing up, no support, nobody paid for anything, nobody stepped up, no safety. I had a lot of traumatizing things happen that I don't like to talk about, except when I'm on TV, and I talk about it all the time. So it made me who I am, which is hard. You know, I'm driven, thematic tie-in, and I'm tough, and a lot of times it's very difficult for me to see outside of that, and so I apologize. And that's not on you. That's issues that I have with my past. And by the way, I do reserve the right to still yell at you for the rest of the season.
Oh my gosh, Emily, you are someone I really look up to, especially when you're standing over me while I'm sitting down, pointing your finger in my face, calling me a poor loser, you know? So it's just like so good to look up at you. And I mean, sometimes I think, God, she's perfect. I mean, she could cut her nose hairs, let's be honest. But otherwise, I mean, you're just such a good person, Emily. Thank you so much for talking to me. If you ever want to exercise in a parking lot, call me.
You know, I would like to be more like a woman like Emily. I just like being around women that I feel like you can grow from. And I feel that way with her. It's like, you know what? I think I'm going to take a boudoir photo now.
So then, my boudoir is being taken away by that U-Haul. Well. Well, hey, we'll just do the boudoir in the parking lot. So then Emily, they hug, basically. They make up. And Emily's like,
I appreciate that Jen said that she admired me, but God, it made me feel like even more of an asshole.
So now we go over to Tamara, Shannon, and Vicky. And Tamara is like, by the way, did you figure out the car situation? Can you drive Sophia around? And Shannon's like, yes. I mean, well, I chose a breathalyzer. I chose one that looks like a side of salmon, and you just put some cream cheese in it, and then you blow onto it. It's so fun.
And then you just wait for those sales to roll in, and then a bunch of zeros start appearing, and your car stops, and someone comes to repossess it. God damn it!
And Tamara's like,
why can't you just go into an Uber for 6 months? And she's like, well, I have been doing that, but my dry cleaning has just been sitting there since December 31st. I would kind of like to pick it up.
I mean, if you think I'm going to put my dry cleaning in a stranger's car, you are sadly mistaken, Tamara. So Tamara's like, well, I'll help you. And Vicky's like, okay, everyone. Okay, so this is like the first time that we're really getting to talk. And I believe that we had a great show. Don't you guys remember the sombreros? So many great memories. And Tamara's like, yeah, we had an amazing show.
We basically walked away from a Tony-winning show, the Trace Amigas. I mean, it was amazing. Everyone said it. I've not heard from one person that you had a good show, to be honest. And we've heard from a lot of people who have been to your show. Not one single person said, that was really good.
Yeah. So Vicky's like, yeah, I mean, I thought we were all on the same page. And then, and we see headlines about how the Trace Amigas broke up. This like dog and pony show taking up so much space on this season is hilarious. I mean, they're really acting like they're Oasis. And by the way, Oasis is getting back together.
Yeah, I read that. Why is that causing such a kerfluffle?
Because they're always broken up. They're like the original Trace Amigas, except they were the Dos Hermanos.
So then we go to, they're like, so what's Vicky's like, what's the problem? And she's like,
Well, Shannon and I had a problem because of her drinking. And like I liked one of Alexis's posts about her twin 16-year-old birthday.
and Shannon's like,
Oh, okay. And you know what that post said? It said, friendships forming. But okay.
and then we see the post on the screen and it says hashtag friendships can form. Dun, dun, dun.
No, Shannon, I didn't even look at the hashtag. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does friendships conform even mean? That's 3 words I've never even heard of before in my life. Shannon goes, well, there were articles all that day of her publicist making a statement on behalf of she and John 4 days after they met. So I was super, super upset about it. Shannon, you don't need to do a breathalyzer into your straw. Yes, I do. It's a violation if I drink my Diet Coke before checking in.
Oh my God, my Diet Coke just drove off.
Excuse me, ladies, I have to bring my Diet Coke back to the mechanic shop and pay a violation fee.
Actually, she's not drinking a Diet Coke. When she got there, she's like,
Hello, can I have a very, very light tequila and soda? Thank you.
As in very light soda, heavy on the tequila. Thank you so much.
yeah, so I don't need to go too into this, but yeah, Tamara's obviously full of shit. It's like the day of. Alexis is announcing all of this stuff. Like, I'm fucking John Jansen. And Tamara's like,
Love you, friendships can form. It's like, what? I don't even know what hashtags are.
You know what? I never thought for a million years that Alexis Bellino would be dating John Jansen. Well, I don't want to have anything to do with Alexis Bellino. I want nothing whatsoever. Well, she's constantly saying, I don't want to hurt Shannon. And I mean, I'm sorry, bitch. But, like, it's not my fault that John is dating Alexis, and I don't even care about that bitch.
I'm like, sure, Tamara, sure. You don't care about it whatsoever. Meanwhile, she's advocating, saying that Alexis is saying that she doesn't want to hurt Shannon. That's all Alexis has been wanting to do all season long.
I know, she's so crazy. So then the girls are talking about it, and Gina's like,
Tamara told me that Alexis brought up the fact that there were videos.
and Heather's like, I heard about it. They might have shown me, but I didn't see. I don't see now. Does anybody know what reader's glasses are?
I hear you can buy them at the VCS. And Gina's like,
Like, are we supposed to tell Shannon about these videos?
I don't know. I honestly don't want to be involved.
But, like, Tamara didn't kill her yet?
No. Kitty goes, these videos will ruin her life. Which means that Gina's going to be the one to go,
I just feel bad because I heard stories that there's these videos, Shannon. I think you should know about them. And, like, I thought I could, like, just get by without telling you, but I just feel bad that they're out there.
Yeah. Gina's really trying to perfect her. I'm going to bring these things on camera, but somehow not get in trouble for them. But she always gets in trouble for them. But in this case, she wouldn't be bringing it on camera because they've already been brought on camera. And that's like, I think the shittiest thing that they do on these shows where they're like, oh, we can't talk about it. But you are all talking about it.
they know it's going to come
She
up.
just doesn't know it.
camera.
It's not fair. Yeah. They're like,
We need to save it for sweeps, bitch.
do they still have that?
You know, I think
Sweep,
they
sweep.
do still have Sweeps Week, but I don't think it has the same gravitas as it used to. Let's think about that for a moment.
The
So
gravitas. Guys, whatever happened to the gravitas sweeps week?
I have a Gravitas driveway. I understand that Shannon is 100% responsible for whatever she did on those videos, but, like, my God, that woman has children. And you know what? That if you release that, it will affect those kids. And that, to me, is inexcusable.
Oh my God. Her children are out of the house. Second of all, look, and I'm not saying they should release these videos. Like, I'm Team Shannon on this one, but I'm really getting sick of childless people getting thrown under the bus constantly. And maybe it's political because this JD Vance fuck just came out and did it, but leave us alone. You know who else doesn't want incriminating videos that are going to embarrass them and ruin their life out? Single people without children.
Yeah.
Like, why is it okay to fuck us over? But when it comes to anything, it's like, you can't do that. They have children. Well, guess what? I have nothing. So
Yeah, Bueller.
is that a reason to be nice to me?
I agree. I also am like, well, no, it's still not like you don't want to like. Obviously, with kids, you want to keep them as like quote unquote innocent as possible. But again, they're all I think 18 and older. They're actually like no longer minors. Doesn't mean that they're therefore entitled to being traumatized by shit like this. But if you really wanted to protect the kids, you probably wouldn't go on reality TV in the first place.
Well, but I think Gina's doing that thing to solidify her case of you did that to me when I had kids.
Yeah.
She's still doing that this season. So she's just like adding evidence to her own case. Because we all know that Shannon's kids are like, Whatever, Mom.
If Gina thinks Shannon's kids have not seen Shannon's behavior on those videos 12 times over, then Gina's sorely mistaken, as she often is.
If she thinks those kids haven't taken their own videos of their mother acting like that.
You gotta get that off the TikTok right now, Stella.
I mean, are we just going to forget the time when Shannon was like wasted on FaceTime talking about like David Bedore that one time? You know, like this is nothing new. So Gina's like,
It's just like a weird place because like part of me wanted to be like, oh, I want to tell Shannon that she should be aware of this, but at the same time, I don't want it to get worse. And I guess like this dilemma kind of like makes me feel, I don't know, what's the word for it? Bad.
So then we cut back to the Tres Amigas, and Shannon's just crying. She's like, I'm just trying to move on, and my life is hard enough without having Alexis thrown in my face. And Tamara's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna touch your hair now. I know, and I give you kudos to even be around Alexis. It must be so hard.
Oh.
Which is why I got a recast on this show and I'm bringing her everywhere I possibly can.
Well, thank you for giving me kudos. It's a delicious snack. I love a chocolate-covered granola bar. But either way, and to have him say that I owe him $75,000, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I'm bereft. And Tamara's like, well, where do you sit with that right now? Well, my attorney made an offer, and he said he won't take one penny less. Okay, Tamara? Well, can I give you some advice? They want you to clear his name.
and she's like,
I will tell the truth. I am a truth teller.
so what has she been saying that they're saying is such a lie, that she paid for all the stuff for him, or what? Is she supposed to come out and be like,
I did not pay for everything for John Jansen. That was a lie. The London hotel just happened to pay for itself.
As far as I can tell, Shannon has been clearing his name since the moment he came onto the show. Like the story about him getting wasted at a golf tournament, and she's like, no, he doesn't even understand golf. He was actually, on that day, he was in Singapore. He went to Singapore for the day, so he couldn't even be at the golf. I don't know what are you all talking about?
Yeah.
Just look at his calendar.
well, that's true. The slander against John has all been Tamara. It's been Tamara slandering John, and then Shanna sticking up for John. And then now she's bringing on Alexis to go for Shannon. What a mess.
No one cares about John Jansen. He has no name that needs to be cleared, because we wouldn't even be giving him a second thought if he weren't trying to stick his nose into the fame pot.
Yeah. So then Tamara's like,
It's so difficult being stuck in the middle of it, you know? Calling Alexis, making friends with Alexis again so I can get in the middle, and then bringing Alexis back onto the show, getting her hired again, and talking to John, going out to dinner with him and stuff. God, it's just been so hard to be put somewhere you don't want to be.
It's so hard being in the middle when you don't even want to be in the middle. All you want to do is insert yourself in the middle, and then you want to get out of the middle so you can complain about being in the middle. It's hard. It's hard being me, bitch.
So Shanna's like,
I'm not going to start lying right now. I've never lied, and I will not start now. Why are you doing that? I'm not lying.
I do not
Take away
lie.
that intimates a lie, and I would like to prove that I'm not lying. Could we please remove that?
I'm not going to lie. I never lie, and I never have lied. Just like I said that night when I decided to walk Archie in the middle of the road at midnight.
So she's crying, and then Tamara's like stroking her hair, and she's like,
Okay, but don't you see where we are now? Because we were talking about the Tres Amigas, and now we're transitioning to John and Alexis. And
she's like, and Vicky's like,
I want to go back to Tres Amigas.
now listen, there's no replacement for Tamara. There's no replacement for Vicky. There's no replacement for Shannon. And I would love the Tres Amigas. Hold on, I'm crying now. Look at me, I'm crying. We only take people serious here if they're crying, right? So, look at me, I'm crying.
I want our Tres Amigas back. Give me Tres Amigas back.
By the way, this is how crafty Tamara is. When she says, I mean, look at this. We were supposed to be talking about Tres Amigas, and now we're talking about John and Alexis, implying like Shannon just has to move forward. But it was Tamara who brought up Alexis. Tamara was the one who said, like, yeah, Tres Amigas fell apart because, well, we've been having issues because Tres Amigas fell apart. It was because of the drinking. Oh, and also because I liked a photo of Alexis. Let's talk about Alexis a little bit. Like, Tamara... Totally.
Why are we talking about Alexis?
Tamara's the one who brought it there, and now she's like, "See, this is what always happens. You know, we're always talking about John and Alexis. You know, we got to move forward."
So now Vicky is fake crying and going, you know, we love Tres Amigas. We need Tres Amigas back. We need it back. We need it back.
Who's going to perform at the Catskills this summer? Someone's got to do it. Come on, bring the Tres Amigas back.
So then Tamara, instead of just saying no and starting another fight, is just like,
Can I get a hug?
something they all have a group hug. And because like you just make me so bad sometimes, Tamara. You just make me so bad.
Listen, we're all very stubborn, hot-headed girls, batch.
And she goes,
I get pulled in by these two all the time, and I'm always disappointment. But we don't have to talk about the past. We can just kind of slowly move forward, batch.
the producer's like, are you going to join the show? She goes,
No, thank you.
Just no Amigas, bitch. Fuck those girls.
So they do the dance, the Three Amigos dance, and it's, I cringed. So that was good. I mean, they've still got it, I can say. I cringed pretty hard. So they've certainly not lost their talent for that.
it's the strangest little thing. Like they just got they've got a little variety show that they tour small theaters in. It's broken after like five gigs, and they're trying to get it back together. And the only thing that's really significant about their bit is that they thrust their hips together. Oh, God,
they reference a Martin Short, Steve Martin, Billy Crystal movie from the 80s or whatever.
Great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Yeah. So then now everyone's like, oh my God, look, they're reunited. Oh, that's so cute. And then they start accusing each other of being traitors and laughing and stuff like that. So then Teddy comes back out because everyone's having fun, so that has to stop. Because they've kept Teddy separate, which I think is kind of funny because normally it's like, look at our guest star. It's an old housewife. And then she comes back and they kind of talk to her at least, but not on this show. This show, they're like, okay, everybody, here's an old housewife and here's why they were fired. Now put them in the back. Like Elizabeth Vargas. They're like, here's Elizabeth Vargas. You can't hang out with anybody. Get into the closet.
I know. So they release Teddy from her holding pen and she comes back out. She's like, okay, hi, I'm Teddy. Separate into groups. There'll be a group of 2, 3, and 2. And Gina's like,
Oh my God, that's my custody schedule.
and Tamara's like,
That's mine too, batch.
Okay, so now they play a question and answer game. Who's the most defensive? And Shannon votes Heather. And Jen's like, I'm sorry, but I think it's you. I think it's you, Shannon. Shannon's like, oh, well, not me. Oh, well, that's very, very nice of you. Thank you. And they all vote that it was Shannon.
Yeah, me being the most defensive? That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, do I get into arguments with people that sometimes leave me paralyzed? Perhaps, yes. But I'm not defensive. You're defensive. You're the defensive one here.
Yeah, well, people keep slinging bullets at me, and so I have to defend. Boom, 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 ow! I just got hit by ricochet. Who has their imaginary car standing in the way of my bullet? It hurt.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Sorry, I have to blow into the breathalyzer before I get defensive.
The next question is, who is the first to throw someone under the bus? And literally everybody answers Tamara. Who drinks the most? It's Shannon, obviously, just got a DUI. Who's the biggest traitor? And it's all Tamara. And Tamara's just loving it. She's like, yeah,
That's what it is. I'm just a truth teller. Yeah, truth teller. If you don't like the truth, not gonna like me. Not gonna like me.
So the first round, Jen and Shannon are immune from getting murdered. And so now they're murdered. The traitor, who, unlike the real traitors, we don't know who the traitor is. So it's like hidden, and the traitor kills Tamara. Although we found out later that the traitor actually meant to kill...
Teddy just misread the point.
Yeah, exactly.
She meant to kill Vicky.
Meant to kill Vicky. And then, by the way, you know what? If you're going to do fake traitors, fine. But at least give us some more actual traitors roundtable where you guys are all accusing each other of being traitors. They just sort of went from murder to murder to murder.
I know, that's the best part, is the accusations and the getting defensive. And
how do they skip that? Because that is how you actually would generate arguments with this entire cast. Because it would start off well, I think it's Shannon because I don't like the way she's looking at me.
Well, do I have a twitchy eye? Yes. Is it brought on by stress? Yes. Is it brought on by John Jansen because of this lawsuit where you're accusing me of lying? Absolutely. And because of Tamara's friends with him, it is Tamara's fault, and Tamara's the traitor right now.
You gotta want ya because you're a stupid fucking alcoholic, you dumb bitch. How dare you? She has children.
I feel bad. Don't talk about her like that because she's got children.
Well, you never felt bad for me because I've got children. Why are you like that? Why are you such a bad friend?
Why are you aggressive?
my mom. Yeah. We just wrote it for you guys. Come on, make an effort over there.
That was a great one.
Did you even watch Traitors? Come on. So then Teddy comes out. She's like, inside the box is someone who's going to get murdered. Everybody. Oh, sorry, that's Emily. She's like, inside the box is someone who's going to get murdered. Everybody put your hand in there.
So Katie's safe, and then Gina goes in to pull out a piece of paper because they all think there's nothing but paper in there, but it turns out there's cricket. So she pulls out a cricket instead of a piece of paper, which is hilarious because like she got her hand all the way in there, wrapped it around a cricket, and pulled it out. I was like, oh my God, it's a cricket. Could you not tell that your piece of paper was squirming?
I know. I guess that there was just one not with a cricket on it, but there's a lot of crickets in there.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for the crickets. I was like, what? They're getting all squished and shit in there. What'd the crickets do? You know?
Wow. This is so exciting. A box full of cell phones for my staff. Oh, real crickets. Never mind.
Listen, people who make terrible jokes all the time, like me, need crickets. Okay, don't take away our crickets.
I know. Also, how did they not hear the crickets? We could hear them on camera. We could literally hear the crickets on mic, and they're like, oh wow, isn't that so funny? As Teddy walks closer with that box, you can hear more and more crickets. I wonder what's in there.
I think it's just the sound Teddy makes naturally.
Oh my God.
Everywhere Teddy goes, you just hear the sound of crickets.
Hey everyone, there's a bunch of crickets in Gina's house right now. Oh my God, I feel bad. They're in my box.
It is kind of funny that Teddy comes back to make her big splash on Housewives, and literally her prop is the sound of crickets. So there's a murder, and the murderer is like, I never would have killed Tamara first. She was my best decoy. The only way to cover my tracks is to create confusion.
So Shannon's like, well, then they try to, I guess Shannon's like talking about how she's immune. I guess Shannon gets killed. She goes, well, you can't kill me. I'm immune. I have diplomatic immunity. You can't kill me. Is this John Jansen's doing? John Jansen's the traitor. He's the real traitor. You cannot do this. I will fight this. I will fight this to the death. Of which I am now dead. Oh well, I guess I can stop fighting.
So let's just get through this game. Who is it? Who did it?
It's Heather.
Heather did it. Heather was
it's
the killer.
basically a lot of fun and games. Although at one point they have to go out to the pool to push boats around, and Teddy pushes Tamara into the pool, which was actually very cruel. And everyone's like, "Oh my God!" Like you could see it did not land the way it was supposed to because it's cold out.
It's Teddy.
It's Teddy. It's cold out, and she's
can't
also
pull it off.
And Tamara's wearing like a nice outfit. You know, this is like an expensive outfit that's now fully ruined, and everyone's like, "Teddy," and Tamara comes out like. They wrap her up like E.T. in a towel.
So Katie's like, well, Heather's the traitor. What a shock. I mean, she's an amazing liar. Does she act? I have no idea. Maybe that was before my time.
You just got burned.
Tamara's like, I knew Heather was the traitor. I knew it. Traitors, you should give Heather a call because she's a good traitor.
I don't do reality TV. I'm sorry. I mean, outside of the show.
So Teddy's like, Heather, because nobody figured out that you were the traitor, you actually won. And Emily goes, add traitor to your IMDb.
I will. And by I will, I'll have Alfredo update the page. So that's like the end of this. It's just a silly episode. It was like I actually really enjoyed it because it was just sort of goofy. And then we saw the trailer for the rest of the season, which looks fantastic. It's a lot of Jen and Ryan stuff and their drama, a lot of more stuff with Alexis and Shannon. I feel like we are now moving away from the Gina stuff. I feel like first half was a lot of Gina issues. And it's like in the Olympics. The first week is swimming. The second week is track and field. We're done with our swimming. We're done with the Gina in the pool. And now we're going to move forward to new controversies.
All right. Well, sounds good to me. We will be here next time, and have a great holiday weekend, everybody who are listening during this holiday time. Okay. And if you want to check out our Secret Lives of Mormon Wives trailer trash, join up with our Patreon. Shall we do that? Okay. Yeah. And also check out our Chimp Crazy recaps. We're recapping that show on Max, so that's out. We've got a lot of special stuff coming up, guys. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for being here. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Bye, bitch.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Strolling the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, She's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas. She don't miss no trickolas. She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy. Jamie. She has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth. Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish. It's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. Ring that bell, toi Rachel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.